Hi.
Hi.
I'm Joe Wildman. I'm up here in front talking about this because I did the Green Party registration. I put together the plan for the Green Party registration drive 21 years ago. Whoa! Excuse me.
That was you?
And I have some credibility, and I'd like to imagine that indeed I deserve that credibility. This is the orientation, and then you go out and you do the work, and then you come back and you reorient the people who sent you out there about what really is going out there, what's really happening, and people will modify the orientations and the plan as this thing goes, because this isn't just about going out and registering voters today. My understanding is there's actually going to be an ongoing culture for a while of voter registration as part of what it means to be a Green, is that you're building the party. You're doing outreach, you're bringing people in, and that's part of what it means to be a registered Green. And then after the orientation, people go out and do work, we come back, we do the reorientation, and this, by the way, is the most important part of the whole drive. In that cycle of work, coming back in and talking about it and figuring out what worked and didn't work is a big thing. First of all, I want to say that being successful at this is about, I'd say, 1 part understanding the voter registration card, okay, about 5 parts having technique for getting people to fill it out correctly and getting a lot of people, and about 20 parts your attitude. How you perceive of what you're doing out there and how you're feeling and how people perceive you and what you're doing, whether you're approachable, whether you're approaching them and all that. If you sit behind a table and you wait for people to come to you, you might register somebody today. It could happen. Because there are probably some people out there who've been thinking, I want to register to vote. And there's a presidential election coming up, I've seen it on television, and they might approach you and register to vote. What you really need to be doing is approaching people, okay? And there's a thing I used to do when I did this training like this, okay? I just want to show you something. That was like one of the most important things you do. I just held out a voter registration card and somebody took it. Because people, when you offer somebody something, unless they're trying to prove you're wrong,
I'm already registered, man.
Unless people are trying to prove you're wrong, when you go to hand somebody something, they focus in on it with their eyes and they take it out of your hand. Most of the time. Okay, thank you. So, I don't know what your opening line's going to be, and I'm not going to talk a lot about Green Party philosophy and why people shouldn't be Democrats, because I'm on the executive board of the state Democratic Party. But you guys get.
It's amazing how you
the Democrats
take care of that right away.
Yeah. But what I am going to talk about is I don't know what your opening line's going to be, but if I were out there, it would probably be, would you like to help build the Green Party? Because I really want them to hear Green Party in the first words. Because you're not just out there doing a public service of registering voters, you are out there doing a public service. Do not feel like you're panhandling or begging or harassing people, because you're not. You're doing a public service. But part of the public service is you're trying to build a viable Green Party. So I would certainly have the words Green Party coming out of my mouth while they're taking it into their hands. Would you like to help build the Green Party of California? We're trying to get another 100,000 members this year. And so you check green, and then you fill in the rest of this, and I'll be right here if you have any questions. And then don't be. Because, quite seriously, once you get it in their hand, now they're either going to fill it out or not, right? And if they want to give it back to you, don't be a jerk, take it back from them. But you got it in their hand, you told them to check green, it's only questions you know where you live, you know your name, but if you have any other questions, I'll be right here. And I always carry 5 boards, at least 5 in my hand. Because at that point, while that guy is standing there and filling it out, he is an advertisement that you're okay. You're okay, filling this out is great, and if you hover around this person, people won't want to interrupt your intimate moment. And you want them to. So you got a guy, he's got it in his hand, he's going to fill it out. You can always correct the things that are wrong before you take it back. Before you take it back. Imagine you finish filling it out. You ready to give it back to me? I always take the pen, because it's rude not to take something when they're handing it back to you. And I start going over things, like your name. Okay, so let's go over the board. You got your name right? Yep. Okay. You didn't put your California driver's license, and that's required. So I'll be right here. If you could put your California driver's license, I'll be right here. You do have a California driver's license?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's required. You have
to. Don't or not if they don't.
Well, if you don't, write none, and then put the last 4 digits of your social security.
If
And
you
if
don't
it's
have it with
California ID.
a California ID, and there's going to be a lot of weird little exceptions out there. But if they have a California ID, they can do that.
you, do know.
Okay? Yeah.
If they don't have their license with them and they don't know the number, what's the alternative?
What I do is I say, do you have it at home? Then let me get your phone number. And if they don't want to put it on the registration, I put it on a separate piece of paper with the registration number, and I'll call you at home.
Is that legal?
And then it's legal for you. I don't know whether it's legal to put in after they've signed, but yes, it's legal for you to help them fill it out because you've signed the box. It
Says you're going to help them fill it out, and they gave you their phone number for that purpose. So they're asking you to help them fill it out. And I wouldn't do that with checking political party. That's the kind of thing that can get you in deep trouble. But filling in their correct driver's license number will not be a problem.
Can they put in their social security number if they don't have their license?
Only if they don't actually have a license. Okay, it's not a question of not having them with it. It is a fallback for people who do not have a state ID. If they have a state ID, it has to be in there. And this wasn't true back in the old Green Party drive. But it's still easier because Green Party wasn't even printed on the card in the old registration drive. They had to write that in. It's probably easier to get them to do this. Okay, so let's go over the stuff that's mandatory, okay? And this is easy. This stuff is not a problem. They have to have a name. They have to have a home address. No mailing addresses in here, because this is the line where
Joe, I understand they have to do their name now, according to the Help America Vote Act.
the way they're registered to vote.
The way it is on their driver's license.
Oh, is it? Okay. Home address is where they live. They have to be able to assign a person to a district and a precinct. And not everybody votes at their post office, right? So it can't be a P.O. box. It has to be a physical address. If they don't actually have a physical address, and I don't know how many homeless people you're going to run into today, they have to put it down precisely enough that if they say the intersection of 25th and St. Charles Roads, 25th and St. Charles Roads might have 4 precincts there. So you literally have to say the northeast corner, okay? And if it's under a bridge, say which end of the bridge, because those are often boundaries of precincts, okay? And if they're in a park, which corner of the park, okay? It doesn't come up that often, but literally they have to be able to put it in a precinct. That's what they have to be able to do. And I have registered homeless people. I'm assuming you've registered homeless people. Have you registered homeless people? Okay. It does happen because a lot of homeless people just want to talk to you. Yeah.
Do they mail them ballots? How does that work?
General delivery often, which is what you put on,
The mailing address, there's a
separate place for mailing.
Okay.
And a lot of them are general delivery on homeless. Sometimes it's a homeless shelter.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a church that they go to regularly and they said you can get your mail there. Sometimes it's a cousin who lets them get their mail drop. Okay. So you got the home address, you got the mailing address. And mailing address, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's the same as your home address, you don't have to write same, you don't have to do anything. You leave it blank, it's fine. They haven't changed that, right? Okay. So now you get to, by the way, it says U.S. country, U.S. state or foreign country of birth. And they give you a lot of room here. CA is fine for most of the people, okay? If it's a foreign country, and if you can't, you might want to glance. If you can't figure out what they put there, either can the registrar. If you can figure it out, don't worry about it, okay?